Life off the grid is never predictable. Some days it's about the small victories, like watching our garden thrive, or hand pollinating our squash to make sure we get a good harvest. Other days it's about braving the unknown, like moving our baby chicks outside for the first time and hoping that they'll make it through the night. We find beauty in unexpected places, a bird's nest hidden in the trees, the deep purple leaves of the Cootamundra wattle, and even a strange dried up fruit bat lying in the dirt. But just as we settle into the rhythm of our land, life throws us an unexpected twist. A last minute warning from Eli's doctors threatening to cancel a trip of a lifetime. We've just got 2 days to decide. Do we stay safe or do we take the risk and go? But I'll get to that soon. Our 9 baby chicks, just 3 weeks old, have moved into an old dog crate, and tonight for the first time we'll let them sleep outside and we'll wrap them in a thermal blanket. It's summer here in Australia, luckily, so the nights are warm enough to cradle their tiny little bodies. Let's go and have a look and see how they're going. In the garden, life is bursting forth. We pick a few strawberries. Impatient perhaps, they're tart and sour, but they're ours. A little miracle in our hands.
Our first strawberry harvest. A little bit sour. Oh, thunderstorm in the background. Yeah, it was alright.
But this land doesn't just bring life, it brings the strange and unexpected. A dead fruit bat, dyed and hollowed and just lying in the dirt. And our cucumber vines begin to stretch and climb. The coriander is flowering delicate white blooms, like lace swaying in the wind. The sweet peas that Kathy from Little Garden Big Dreams gave me the seeds for seem to be doing quite well, and so is the rosemary. They're standing very strong and tall. And you can see all the red spinach over the other side there. It's all going to seed now. And the lavender releases its soft purple flowers into the breeze. The galangal and the raspberry bush are doing really well. The pink lady apple tree is doing well as well, and the gramma vines are sprawling, lush and thriving. The garden feels alive, almost humming with its own heartbeat. The mulberry and the citrus trees are doing quite well, but the gramma vines have definitely become the star of the garden, huge, sprawling and impossibly healthy. Our olive tree has just finished flowering, but we're not really expecting any olives for a couple of years yet. I've been hand pollinating these spaghetti squash flowers. The female flowers, you can tell them by the bulge at their base, and it's like the promise of fruit there. And the male flowers are thin. Their stems are straight and clean. It's delicate work moving pollen from one flower to another, but it feels like an act of care, a quiet partnership with the land. The potatoes we planted in the hay bales are flowering now. Their blooms delicate and hopeful. But not everything has thrived. Some of the loquat seedlings that we had beside the greenhouse have struggled, their tiny leaves curling in surrender. Hopefully we'll have some potatoes to dig up soon, but I'm not really that hopeful that we'll do any better than we did last year. Most of these are citrus trees that I planted from seed, and they would be a few years old now as well. And here's our capsicum and chilli plants that we grew from seed. so they're coming along pretty well. This big green healthy one hopefully will produce some nice chilies for us. And then in this garden bed we also have 2 daikon white radish seedlings that we grew from seed that was gifted to us by our permaculture teacher Lana, and so you can already see the tops of the radishes peeking above the soil, a quiet promise of what is to come. And this is another kind of amaranth here, and look at its big seed head that it's starting to produce. That looks so beautiful. We've got more of this red spinach here that's going to seed. We threw in a whole heap of green manure seeds here and nothing green has really come up, so that's quite unusual. This is our orange tree. It's a few years old now, but it needs a little bit of tender loving care at the moment. And then we've got our banksia and one of our loquat trees. It's been in the ground for a few years now too. And this is one of the wattle trees that we got for free from Sarah at the Mole River Station Nursery at the Landcare Wattle Day, and that's growing really, really fast. We've started preparing for winter for stockpiling our wood for the fire, and we've got our calendulas there that are flowering really well, that bunch, and we're collecting the seeds and sprinkling them everywhere else. Like in here, this is the hot lips salvia bed that we created a few months ago, and they're establishing themselves really nicely. These hot lips salvias are actually part of the sage family, and then we've got a few sunflowers growing over here as well, and then more red spinach. I normally just pull the dried seeds from the red spinach plants and scatter them around the garden like confetti. I like to think of myself as the seed fairy, bringing new life to this place, one sprinkle at a time. And it's working. There's another sunflower coming up there as well. And the beautiful lavender. Aren't they gorgeous flowers? And then we've got this Australian native mint bush that I just absolutely love, and it smells so nice and it just looks so pretty. I'm going to try to grow some more of these by cutting soon. And the rare Tenterfield mint bush is doing really well, although it does also need a little bit of tender loving care, but the leaves are looking super green and healthy, and this is so we've got 2 plants of this, so it's very rare and we're excited to see that it's going well. So the baby chicks have their first night outside, and the next morning we check in on them, and to our relief all is well, they survived. But now we have another problem. We didn't think this through at all. In just a couple of days we're leaving for our holiday, and Paul's dad is coming to look after Chimney Creek Farm while we're away. The plan? Dump the baby chicks with him and run. No instructions, no plan, just good luck.
This is called the silent bark, or the New Zealand jaybird. Sit down. Sit. Is that good, puppy?
So now life has thrown us a curveball. Eli's haematologist called, urging us not to leave for our overseas trip. They wanted scans done, CTs and MRIs to rule out the worst. The fear crept in, cold and heavy, but I made a decision. Do you need help, Dylan?
Yeah, just got a CT.
and your blood won't stop coming out.
Yeah.
Have to put pressure on it.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you having, Dolan? Chicken palmy.
Yeah.
Yum. I won't let fear dictate our lives.
Yeah. Let me know if you need a hand doing the gown up.
I'd rather that we died living than spending our days afraid of what might come. So we packed our bags and boarded that plane to Thailand. We've waited so long for this trip, saved and planned for it, dreamed of it, through long, hard days. And as we flew into the horizon, I thought about the garden, the chicks, the land we've built our lives around. We can choose to be afraid, or we can choose to live boldly. I choose to live boldly and to take chances, because this life, this wild, beautiful, unpredictable life, is worth living to the full. We leave our off-grid world behind for now.